So here's a way where you can use a functionality within Flow called repeaters to be able to create multiple contacts without writing a line of code. So on the account, I have this quick action where the account is defaulted to the account that I'm on, and I can go ahead and create multiple accounts. Now, if I want to add one more contact, I can go ahead and click on the add button and create more. And if I wanted to remove one, I can go ahead and simply remove one. So let's take a look how to do this using Flows. All right, so we're going to start with, of course, we're going to go to Flows. You're going to click on Flows right here. And then you're going to click on New Flow. If this is the first time you're seeing this new UI, this is, again, Salesforce's new UI when it comes to Flow. They've introduced a lot of different things. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Screen Flows right here and select Screen Flows. Right. So what I'm going to do, there's multiple ways you can obviously start this. I'm going to start with my variables and click here. So what I'm going to go ahead do is click create a brand new resource, click on new resource and create a record variable. So I'm going to go ahead and click on variable. I'm going to go ahead and name this record ID. It's actually important we name it this way and because it is a Salesforce's standard naming convention. So I'll went ahead and put in record ID. So what I'm going to go ahead and do in the data type, I'm actually going to select text and click on available for input. Of course, you click done at the end. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on create another variable and I'll call it var contact. So this one, the naming convention doesn't matter. I'm just naming it this way. So it's easy for me to find. It's going to be a data type is going to be record and the object's going to be contact. So go ahead and do that. And one more resource. So this is going to be a collection. So I'm going to go ahead and create a variable, call contact. Again, this is just my naming convention, so it's easy for me to find. So I'll go ahead record and I'll go ahead and click on contact. And we'll use this a little bit later in the flow creation. And I am going to allow it to collect multiple values since it's going to be, again, that's what makes it a collection of records versus an individual record. So I'll go ahead and press done. And now we'll start with our screen element. So I'll click here, click on screen, and the first I'm going to go ahead and start with a lookup. And I'll call this simply account. So the purpose of this will be, it is a lookup to the account that the contacts will reside under. The way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to end up having a quick action on the account. So this will get pre-populated with the account name itself. So having the field here will give them the option to change the account if they do want to change the account as well. So the field API name needs to be correct. So you go to the object itself. In this case, it's a contact object. I just know this, but you can always go to the contact object, go under fields and relationship. I'm going to go ahead and put the object API name here, which is contact. That's as simple as contact. And then the API name for the field on the contact that looks up to the account is just contact ID. Now, of course, you can just, it's lowercase d. You can just copy and paste. I'm just doing it just because I've done this so many times now. The label can be anything, but we're just going to keep it simple and call account. The remaining can stay as is. I'm gonna go ahead and create a display text. You don't have to. This needs to be lowercase. So you guys saw that there's an error here. So this needs to be lowercase. So I went ahead and update that. So now the error is gone. So I'm going to use, again, use a display text. Keep in mind, as you're creating the screen element, you can create how you want it. I'm just showing the simple version myself. So again, what we can do is we can show this, put this display text at the top and have this, display account just to show like account details. So I can go ahead and say account details. Again, you can name it whatever you want. You don't even have to use this. I'm going to create one more display text for the contact information. So I'll just call it display contact, call it details. So it's easier. So let's call it contact details. We can bold it, of course. You can kind of make it a bit fancier. This is where now the repeater comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and click the repeater. pull it in here. So what makes it cool is, or what makes it unique is that up until the release, up until having this feature available, you would have to leverage a Lightning component to be able to add and remove records, um, on one screen. So now with Flow, it by default is going to give you this add button as well as this remove button. And now we can go ahead and put the fields we want to have displayed in here. So now I'll go ahead and pull in a text field. So actually I'll look for a name. Name would be much better here. So I'll go ahead and pull in name. I'll pull in an email field. And then I'll pull in the mobile field. So there is no mobile field or component rather. So I'm just going to pull in phone here and drag it here. All right. We'll change the label to say mobile. I'm going to set the API for all of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep it simple. So I'll just call this contact name. And this will be email, as you guys saw, and this will be mobile. And if, of course, if we want it, we can make fields required. The other thing we can do is instead of having it, again, if you have a lot of fields, instead of having everything at the bottom, like one after another, you can reduce the width to make it side by side. So here I can go ahead and select the email. I can click on the style, make it half the size. So I can now click on mobile. I can again do the same thing, make it half the size. And by default, it shows it side by side. Of course, if you have more fields, you can have it beside each other. So again, doing all this, it's all point to click. There's no coding involved. There's no writing of Apex or anything like that. All right. Now I'm going to name the repeater. So I'll just call it something, I guess, basic contact repeater. Let's go ahead and press done. Oh, I'm having a couple of errors. So I'm keeping the errors in the video just so you guys can see, like, again, so this one I'm just missing the name of the screen flow, of the screen itself rather. So I can just simply call it contact creation. There we go. So now I'm good. So now I got the screen going. Now what we're going to do is for all the contacts that the user inputs, we want to actually loop through them and actually create those contacts. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a loop element here. So what I'm going to do now, it's simply going to be called loop contacts. Again, you can name it whatever you want. So I'm going to go ahead, go through the screen, and I'm going to go through the contact repeater, and I'm going to pull in all the items that's been entered in there. Okay. So I'm going to go from the top to the bottom. So first to last, that's what this is saying. Now I'll do the assignment. So contact vary values. Again, it doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and say I'm going to look for the var contact, and the account ID is going to be. So I'm going to go through the current item in the loop. So again, we're looking for the specific item that's in the loop right now. So for the account ID, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the screen flow. Now, the reason we're not looking at it in the loop is because, again, this repeater only has a first name, last name, email, and mobile. So the account is always going to be the same. I'm going to go to the screen flow. I'm going to go ahead and select the account, and I'm going to just select record ID. But now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the same variable and then go to the, let's say, first name. And now we're going to actually look at the current item in the loop. So we can look for contact name, and I'll just match it to the first name. So same thing for the next one. Contact last name. It's going to be, again, item in the current loop. Contact name, last name, and you just continue the same way. And then the email, you're going to select email value. And then for the phone, let's go ahead and, find mobile. And again, here mobile, you're going to look the value as well. Okay. So now this is how your assignment needs to look like. So what we've done is we're looping through every single contact, and for each of the contact, line by line, what we're doing is we're doing a mapping of the fields that we have in the screen repeater. So what we want to do here is now we're going to do one more assignment, or we're going to go ahead and just say, call this add to collection. So now we're going to look at the collection variable we created, and we're going to do an add. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to select all the variable contacts that we have in the previous, that we've identified in the previous element. So let's go ahead and do that. And there we go. So now what I'm going to do is, again, now we will loop through all the contacts we have. Now we can go ahead and create them, right? So let's go ahead and do a create element, and we're going to go ahead and create contacts. Now here, what you have to do is you want to select multiple, because again, you're going to be creating multiple contacts potentially, right? So we'll go ahead and click on multiple, and because we only have one collection variable, we'll be able to select the collection variable. So now I've selected that. So it's existing. Now, one thing I did remember that I forgot to add. So if you guys remember at the start of the video, I created this variable right here, record ID. The purpose of that was actually, if I go back to my account, I can default this account, which is what we do want to do, is we can default it to the account that we're currently on, right? So I'm just kind of exposing all the components here. So let's go ahead and, so again, the thought here is on the account, I'm going to go ahead and click the button, and the account value is already selected, right? So what I'm going to do is, where it says record ID, I'm going to go ahead and pull my record ID variable, and there we go. So now the quick action will put in the account record in this, okay? So I think that being said, that's our flow. So now we can go ahead and, of course, save this flow. I'll just simply call it multiple contact creation. Now you want to follow your naming in your org's naming convention when you do these. Again, this is a dev org, so I'm just going to go ahead and call this a multiple contact creation. You can give it a description. I'll just go ahead and save. Once I saved it, now I can go ahead and activate. So now my flow is created. So now let's go ahead and create that quick action we were talking about. So I'll go under setup one more time. Go to object manager, go to account. And then over here, I'll go ahead and create a quick action. Click on new action, and we'll call it, well, we're going to be actually initiating a flow. So we'll select where it says action type, we'll select flow. And we'll go ahead and select our flow that we created, which is multiple contact creation, and then give it a label, right? So we'll call it create contacts. And let's go ahead and save. And on the page layout, I can go ahead, let's take a look. I think we only have one page layout that I'm leveraging. Yeah, it's account layout. Let's go ahead and pull my button in here. So this should be my button, create contacts. I'll go ahead and remove some of these other buttons that I've been kind of playing around with just to kind of reduce confusion. Let's go ahead and save. So now let's go to my account record. Of course, that's where the buttons is present.